I think that's why I'm so excited, is because I have been blessed to see what it looks like under the GOAT. And now you're going to the baby GOAT who's been, all the eyes are on her all around the world. And so it's just kind of a cool experience for everybody.
She's completely changed the game for the better. That's how Sophie Cunningham described CaitlinClark in a recent interview after joining the Indiana Fever. While some critics still try to minimize Clark's influence, Cunningham's honest take, as a seasoned pro, really stands out. Her words carry weight, especially coming from someone who knows the game inside and out.
I am joined by Indiana Fever, Sophie Cunningham. And I just said Indiana Fever, Sophie Cunningham. You have been with the Phoenix Mercury for 6 years, now heading over to Indiana for the 2025 season. What does that feel like? How has that transition been?
Got it. I'm ready to rewrite the transcript as soon as you share it. Just paste the original text here, and I'll transform it to match your instructions: clear, engaging, easy to understand, and completely reworded.
You know, it is so funny that you even said that, because I'm still, I'm so excited, but I'm still not used to it, just because I've been drafted out here. I've been here for 6 years. And so a couple of weeks ago, I threw on the Indiana jersey for the first time, and everyone's saying I'm a Fever. And so I'm like, oh, I gotta get used to the new me, which I love. I'm so excited for. I think it's just such a great opportunity. I'm excited to play with the players that are there, play under the coaching staff that's there. And so I think this is just a new and exciting era for me and, everyone that I kind of partner with.
Did you know the Indiana Fever only won 5 games a few seasons ago? They were dead last in the league, and the hole they've been trying to dig out of is even deeper than most folks realize. The following season didn't go much better. They finished with just 13 wins and 27 losses, even with Aaliyah Boston, the top pick in the 2023 draft, already on the team. This wasn't just a rough patch. It was a wake-up call that something major had to change in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think Indy, those my year 1 through 3.5. Well, let me just say this. I went through my 7 years in Indy. I've had 4 head coaches. So that within itself is kind of like, no one really knows what an experience of like the black stick at the bottom. Trust me, I've been there. Trust me. So I was, that's really how it started,
Think about what that kind of losing streak does to a team. The Fever weren't just falling short on the court, they were fading from the spotlight in a league where getting noticed is already tough. Their struggles made one thing clear: the entire roster needed a serious reset. No more small tweaks, it was time for a full rebuild. When you all stepped away, the team was still trying to figure things out. New coaches came in, and at that point, I think even I, Delby, was unsure if I was going to sink or swim. Honestly, I didn't know where my career was heading. I had the stats, I had the honors, but that didn't matter if the team wasn't winning. And anyone who really wants to compete knows, it's all about the team. Then came the 2024 draft, and everything changed. The Fever scored the number 1 pick and landed CaitlinClark, one of the most talked about rookies the WNBA has ever seen. Just like that, a team barely getting attention became the center of the basketball world, but that kind of spotlight also brings pressure. The critics came fast, asking tough questions. Would Clark's style of play work at the pro level? Could this young team really go up against the league's best? And these weren't just online hot takes, these were real concerns from analysts who saw a rookie stepping into a team that still had a long way to go.
When y'all left, it was still a rebuild stage. So different coaches got hired. And I think that at that point, Delby was trying to figure out whether I was keep swimming or if I would sink individually. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what would happen in my career. I didn't know how it would turn out because the points were the points. The accolades were the accolades, but it wasn't enough.
That team winning. Team, not individual, team.
And anybody that wanted to compete and be a winner,
it's about team.
When the 2024 season got underway, the early struggles only added fuel to the fire. The team often looked out of sync, still trying to build chemistry. CaitlinClark took a lot of hits, literally. Opponents weren't holding back, and it felt like each game someone new was trying to welcome her to the league with tough, physical play. The Fever's flaws were hard to miss. They lacked grit. Their shooting was all over the place. And more than anything, they didn't have that one veteran who could step up and handle the rough moments, someone who could push back when things got chippy. What quickly became clear was this: talent wasn't enough. The Fever didn't just need promising players, they needed seasoned pros who knew how to win, who had been through tough games, and who wouldn't back down under pressure. With Clark now the face of the franchise, the team needed leaders who could handle the spotlight and help steady the ship.
And Diana said it best: this kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
That's when the front office stepped in and made a bold move. In what could end up being remembered as one of the smartest rebuilds the WNBA has seen in years, Fever management brought in a strong group of veteran players: Sophie Cunningham, Dana Borner, Sydney Colson, and Natasha Howard. And these weren't just any vets, these were women who'd been in high-stakes games, who knew what it meant to perform under pressure. They were brought in not just to play, but to guide the younger players and show them what it really takes to win.
Are you in a position where you can add some pieces?
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position. And I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play.
Out of all the veterans the Fever brought in, none made a bigger splash than Sophie Cunningham. While the front office quietly made their moves behind the scenes, no one saw the headline Sophie would create during her media rounds. Most vets are cautious when talking about rookies, they keep their praise measured, not wanting to overhype anyone too soon. But Sophie didn't hold back. Her bold take caught everyone off guard and left basketball analysts stunned.
It's a wonderful fresh start for you. But before we look ahead, I kind of want to look back on your experience in Phoenix. Like you said, you were drafted there. You spent the last 6 seasons with the GOAT, Diana Taurasi, who just announced her retirement. What have you learned from her?
Oh man, I think we could sit here for days if we really went into that. But at the end of the day, I think that Dee is one of the best humans I've ever met. She has one of the best hearts. The way she not only thinks about life, but the game is just on a whole nother level.
In a straight-shooting interview with the New York Post, Cunningham made it clear she was made for this moment. After spending years in Phoenix, where things weren't always smooth, Sophie saw the trade to Indiana as more than just a move, it was a turning point. I think it's built me for something bigger and better, she said, referring to the stage she's about to step onto and the teammates she's about to join. Her words weren't just personal, they came across as a rallying cry for the whole organization.
But you went from playing with a true legend of the game to now a rising legend of the game in CaitlinClark in Indiana. What is it about her? What have you observed about CaitlinClark now that you're going to be one of her teammates?
What makes Cunningham's comments so refreshing is how real she kept it. Instead of giving the usual one game at a time spiel, she was honest about the ups and downs of professional sports. And that doesn't mean it's always going to be rainbows and butterflies, she said, showing real self-awareness. Each season has its challenges. This no-nonsense approach is exactly what she'll bring to the locker room, no sugarcoating, just straight talk.
It was exactly what Cunningham needed after she got, quote, too comfortable across 6 seasons in Phoenix. Now she tells the New York Post that she's equipped to thrive in the spotlight while playing alongside Fever superstar CaitlinClark. Quote, I think that since I've been out here in Phoenix, it hasn't always been easy, Cunningham, 28, said while discussing a partnership with Quest Nutrition. There have been a lot of trials. There's been a lot of lessons learned, a lot of experiences that I thought was just like any WNBA team. But I think it's built me. It's made me tougher. It's tested my persistence and my mental quite a bit.
The move to Indiana came with a bit of irony. During the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, Sophie had a fun exchange with Clark. I told her, hey, if you ever want to come to Phoenix, let me know, Cunningham remembered with a laugh. That one kind of backfired on me. Instead of Phoenix, the basketball gods had other plans, sending Sophie straight to Indianapolis.
I think it's built for me something bigger and better in the stage that we're about to be on with the players that I'm about to be with. I think I am built for this. So she's telling you she's ready. Did you pick up on I think it's made me tougher? Because look, they're not only going to come after CaitlinClark, they're going to come after Miss Cunningham too. That is a fact. Unfortunately for her, I have a feeling she's not going to back down from anybody.
The most impactful moment of Cunningham's media tour came when she fiercely defended Clark. Sophie spoke out about the enormous pressure on the rookie, pointing out that many people haven't been in her shoes, making it easy to judge from the outside. By publicly standing up for Clark, Sophie sent a strong message. She's focused and ready to support her teammate no matter what.
Clark's fame put the team under a microscope, which opened the floodgates for scrutiny and constant attention. The Fever had to increase security when they drafted the Hawkeyes legend. None of that is intimidating to Cunningham. Here we go. And she's already said she's tough. Now we know she's not intimidated. Who's ready to chase a championship with a new look Fever? Quote, I think that's why they brought in a lot of veterans who have that experience, Cunningham said. And I'm not saying that they have the experience of hundreds of millions of followers watching you, watching your every step, but I do feel like they brought an experience of how to gel in the locker room.
Cunningham knows exactly what this Fever team needs. She's genuinely excited about Indiana's ball-sharing style, which perfectly suits both Clark's playmaking skills and Sophie's ability to knock down shots. Sophie sees the bigger picture and understands what makes this roster so unique.
I'm refocused. There's a different type of vibe and energy about me, she said. I think I'm always kind of happy-go-lucky, go with the flow, and I'm still that. But I'm also, ready to dial in and get a championship because that's something I haven't done yet, so I'm going to do anything in my power to help the team do that. It's time for me to level up. Very interesting indeed. So she's ready.
The bond between Sophie Cunningham and CaitlinClark goes beyond just the typical veteran-rookie dynamic. It's a connection built in the intense spotlight of Diana Taurasi's shadow. After 6 seasons alongside one of the most scrutinized players in WNBA history, Sophie gained a perspective that most veterans don't have. This hard-earned wisdom on handling the pressure of constant attention is exactly what Clark needs as she steps into the spotlight, with all eyes on her every move.
She's making it clear. She's ready. Joining this squad. And look, remember when Cheryl Swoops and some of the other media was like, I don't know if any players are going to want to join CaitlinClark. Boy, that turned out to be some fraudulent activity, did it not, by the media?